Welcome back to the Marked Up Show. Man with a guest today. I say that every week, don't I? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that this week. Listen, before we start this one today, I got like a barrage of questions I'm going to ask. Off the dome, Todd said he can work them around. For those of you who don't know, KV is back with us. For those of you who don't know, the guest today, Todd Day, former Razorback basketball player. First of all, Fitzgerald. Where does the name Fitzgerald come?
It came
Memphis?
from my aunt. Yeah, I know Illinois. My aunt. Actually, I grew up in Decatur, Illinois, a real small town, about 75,000. So my aunt always said that I was the golden child of the family, and I was going to be rich. So she told my mom to give me a rich person name. So I guess they thought
Fitzgerald. Spoken into existence.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
That's pretty much how that got.
All right. Okay. So I know you're good friends with Penny Hardaway.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Alpha Phi Alpha, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
So that's why you did that to me earlier.
Yeah, of course.
He was prepping himself. I'm like, Alpha, what's going on today?
Yeah, Todd's an Alpha. I'm an Alpha. But Penny Hardaway is a Kappa. Now, there's a rumor Penny paid the Noops at Memphis $15,000 to leave him alone in the pledge process. What you know about that?
Oh, my goodness.
I have any knowledge of that. I don't have any knowledge.
None of that.
None of that.
All right, okay. 1990 FIBA World Cup. You played in it. Y'all won the bronze medal. They asked Carmelo not to play this year. Yes, no.
They asked Carmelo to say that again?
They asked Carmelo not to play this. They didn't want Carmelo to play this year with all the young guns.
Uh-huh.
Your thoughts?
Where he is in his career, I would say no as well.
Why?
Just because he wouldn't fit in with that group.
With the young group?
Yeah, he wouldn't fit in.
He fits on a yacht, but I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, leave him. Yeah, I can see you talking about some other stuff.
Trucks.
All right, last one. Why do a lot of NBA players turn down the FIBA World Championship this year? In general, Olympics.
Well, I don't think they turned down the Olympics. I think it's the preliminaries that they don't want to deal with just because of you playing 10, 11 months a year. So you only really get a month and a half to really rest your body.
Right.
A lot of them like to, like she said, get on those yachts.
Get on the yacht.
And do their thing in the summer after a strenuous season. So only really the top guys really go to the Olympics.
So then why not go back to the college players? Because they won't be good enough?
Well, as you said, the bronze medal.
Yeah.
That was the last time we had college players, and I was a part of that in 1990. And from then on, they wanted NBA
players. Yeah. So is it that is the competition that tough or?
No, I just think we weren't prepared for the international game as collegiate players.
Right.
And now they have they go to training camps and
okay.
All we did was we went out to Colorado Springs for 10 days and we practiced and
that was it. You remember who you played with?
Yeah, Christian Laettner, Lee Mayberry, Bobby Hurley.
I think Bobby Hurley was so overrated.
Yeah.
He was overrated, Bobby Hurley.
I don't want to say overrated. He got more hype than he deserved. He's a great player. Being on Duke was able to get him.
All right. So Todd played on that 1990 Final Four team. I want to ask the other Final Four question I was going to ask because a good friend of mine, Mike Hackbart, was the manager of the
that's my guy.
Yeah, other team. So so he told me a lot of war stories. I won't bring up a lot of the war stories.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. I don't have a problem with it. If I did it,
well, no. He just reminded me of the night in the NCAA, the Final Four. Apparently, somebody, I won't say his name, Ron. I won't say his name, but somebody had spelled out NCAA Final Four in front of the team, like in writing, and more of a powdery substance. The night before the game, semifinals game.
Oh, okay.
I have no knowledge.
You have no knowledge of that? Okay.
Right. I wouldn't put it past.
Hey man, Hackbart was a fool. Yeah. Okay, so you played on that 90 Final Four team. That was the first Nolan Richardson. Mike Anderson was a part of that coaching staff. Mm-hmm. Nolan versus Mike, something was different. I don't know if the fastest 40 minutes worked better for Nolan than it did for Mike. Something worked different. What do you think it was?
It was a couple of different things. Back when we played, there weren't so many ball handlers. There was only a couple of ball handlers, so we would always pressure those two guys and make the other three guys have to handle the ball, which created a lot of turnovers.
Right.
But in today's game, everybody handles the ball.
Gotcha.
So your pressing style doesn't always work, and I think to Mike's detriment, he didn't change his style.
Make that adjustment. All right, so you're coaching now, Philander Smith, third year, first year coach of the year. Pretty happy?
Congrats on that.
Yeah, I came in with a great team. The coach before me left a great team of guys who just wanted to do well. They just weren't getting led in the right direction. They just needed a leader, and I stepped in, and they did well from there.
So now, because KV, what you don't know is, like, I remember I remember the Todd day in college. So
yeah, when you said 1990,
Yeah,
I threw my age out there. I was like, okay.
yeah,
I'll
see,
leave
the
that
Todd
alone.
day in college is a little more like this. He's kind of quiet and subdued
Okay.
today. So I just wanna let
I'm
you
going to find out in a little while if
Okay,
that's really,
I
really
got you.
true, though.
I got you. Okay, so that's the difference between Nolan and Mike, and Mike didn't make the adjustments. Do you think? I think Mike lasted 2 years too long. Recruiting is an issue.
Yeah, it was. The thing that I was going to say about that as well is Mike wasn't able to get the players that Nolan was able to get.
Right.
And half because Mike was a recruiter. He was the one out getting them. So, with him not tapping into the Memphis market is really what hurt his program.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw a name out there, and I don't know this guy tapped into the Memphis market. Scott Edgar. You still talk to him? He's the old Razorback coach.
I got off the phone with him yesterday. He's at Eastern Oklahoma
Mm-hmm.
Community College, and I sent one of my high school kids down there last year. And he's now enrolled at Philander. Be able to play in the fall.
Why do you think he was so effective? And why did Mike get rid of assistant coaches that couldn't be effective?
I think Mike was loyal to a fault.
Right.
You had myself, who was deep into the AAU program. I could just go on the list of guys who played for me that came from this area: Khalil Garland, Kayvon Allen, Anton Beard, Bobby Portis. The list goes on and on. And he never reached out to me to try to get those kids.
Yeah, he didn't. He couldn't get the Kayvons. He couldn't.
Didn't try. He tried. It's a certain way you get those kind of kids. Those are not regular kids,
Right.
It's a certain way you have to go after those kids.
Right.
And, we have the same facilities that Florida and Memphis and all these places are getting these kids. We have the same facilities down there on the hill, so it's just a matter of putting out a better presentation.
And he didn't do a good job of that.
Well, you don't have any people. He didn't have it. The guys now, when they come out of college, their dream is to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
If you don't have NBA guys around your program,
They're not going to be there. Yeah, because I know you were a McDonald's All-American. Back in the day, they got more McDonald's All-Americans than they do now. So I'm trying to figure out, as we go from Anderson to Musselman, is Musselman going to be able to pull that?
I don't know. I just know, if I'm a suburban kid, I'm going to hang with suburban kids.
Right.
So if you get McDonald's All-Americans and NBA guys in your program, you'll gravitate more NBA guys to your program.
Right.
And he did not do that. You have Lee Mayberry, who's coaching. You have Scotty, who's coaching. Corliss, myself. It's just the top 10 guys who've ever played at that program are now coaching, and they're not a part of the program. Is one reason why.
Why are you not a part of the
right.
program?
Everybody should be a part, I would think.
It's a difference. The coaching game is a little different than, any other game. A lot of people feel intimidated to bring another guy in who knows a lot about the game. Because
why?
Because that guy is always the next guy in line.
Well, you're not gonna have a job forever, so
That's
there's always
very
gonna be
true.
somebody.
But
Right.
that guy is always the next guy in line. It's if you're a great assistant coach and your head coach is doing well, then you're not gonna get any glory. But as soon as he starts to do bad, that's when the assistant coach
Right.
gets all the glory. Well, it's time for him to go. Maybe you need to move the next guy up.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So if you look around, most coaches who are not the top echelon coaches, they always have somebody next to them who's not ready to be a head coach.
Yeah, but okay. So why doesn't that make sense to me? Because first of all, I'm only gonna be in it for a while. I'm making millions of dollars, so let me get the best coaches.
Well, I'm gonna speak on it like this. Coach K has a tree line of coaches that he's groomed to who are now coaching the NCAA.
Right.
Jim Boeheim, same way. Roy Williams, Calipari.
Right.
None of these people that I'm naming are of color.
Gotcha.
So until we start promoting our people of color to the next level, it'll always be that way.
That is good point. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out why we need to do the crabs in a barrel, in a bucket. I mean, at this, because think about it. If I'm coaching and I got Todd, Lee, and Big C on my staff, and we winning, getting McDonald's All-Americans, do you think I care?
As good as your team and those that are around you as well.
Do you think I care if it only lasts 5 years?
And also, he needed change. And he didn't have anybody on his staff who was willing to tell him we need change. Like, we're not gonna win like this.
Because the word is that he wouldn't get rid of his assistants. You a coach?
Yeah, I heard that rumor too. I hope it's not true because he ended up getting rid of them when he went to St. John.
Yeah. So you didn't take them with you.
Exactly. So
that's not good.
It's not a good sign.
Okay. Southwest Conference versus the SEC. 3 years in Southwest Conference. Y'all only got 1 year in the SEC. But, man, the year you were in the SEC, Alabama, Latrell Sprewell, they had Robert Ory.
James Robinson.
LSU had Shaq. Man, it was so many legends. So talk about the difference between playing in the SEC and the Southwest Conference.
The Southwest Conference was more of hog dominated. You know, we knew that before we got there after the first year that we were going to dominate this conference.
Right.
And the one good thing about moving to the SEC is every time we made it to the Final Four, Sweet 16, they would always say we weren't playing anybody. Our competition was weak. So when we jumped into the SEC, we had a chip on our shoulder so big that it didn't matter what conference we were in, we were going to run through it.
Right. So cause there was some epic battles with Alabama, some epic battles with Kentucky, but that was when what's his name was young in the coaching game up there at Rupp. He was at Louisville. Patino was young back then, but y'all was still getting the best of him except for the championship game, SEC championship game. But you guys still got the best of them. So when you moved to the SEC, you had a chip on your shoulder and the competition. Who was the toughest?
I don't think any. They all were good. You know, Alabama had their challenges, LSU as well, but it really didn't matter to us. At that particular point, we knew that we had 3 pros on our team and ended up with 4. So it didn't really matter who we played at that point. We just wanted to come out and prove that, you know, we were one of the best teams in the country.
Okay, so now I'm going to take it off the court for a minute and go life off campus. 1990, 89, 90. I was at Henderson, but you were at Fayetteville. So walking around campus, people following you class. Take me to the life of a 21-year-old Todd Day.
Little out there, you know, a little out there. Just
see what I'm saying?
Enjoying the moment. You know, kid from a small town who ended up in a big city. I had no dreams ever of being in the NBA.
You didn't dream at all being in the NBA.
I was a football player growing up.
What?
Okay,
until
really?
I got to high school. And
well, that takes
my
care of
body
all the things you don't
frame
know. Okay.
wouldn't take the hit, so I just, you know, my stepfather was a basketball coach, and he was like,
play ball,
to the gym. Yeah.
And you just shot ball. So, but
I was always good at basketball, you know, in the neighborhood, and I played on a lot of AAU teams. But my dream was never to
play in the NBA.
Right.
Which you know, takes us back to on the court, because I was gonna get off the court for a minute. There's some stories I got to tell you. I'm gonna hold off on those. Okay. But I know you're a settled guy right now. But which takes us back. You're only 5 years in the pros. So when you get that first $1 million in your bank account,
what you do?
Well, Shaq said he spent $1 million in a day. Can you spend $1 million in a day? Did you spend $1 million?
I did not spend $1 million in a day, but
you
I
spent quite
a
bit.
Money.
Quite a bit.
What? How do you blow through that kind of money?
Well, I mean, it sounds like a lot of money. It's really not once you get through like
taxes,
just
agent.
When you just say, for instance, I think I made like 1.5 my rookie year. You know, I finished paying for my mother's house, $100,000. Bought me a $100,000 car, her a $75,000 car, my brother $50,000 car. You know,
Okay.
That's $500,000
Okay,
right there.
You know, just and I had to get me somewhere to stay in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up.
But
I
you had the
Mercedes.
signing bonus. You had the signing bonus.
No, it's NBA. You don't get signing bonus. It's just straight. Your
it's just straight
contract is
cash.
guaranteed.
Okay.
It's guaranteed over whatever amount of years. So, I think I ended up spending. I spent $1 million my rookie year. I probably only had about $300,000 or $400,000 in the bank that summer. Yeah, but it was more of taking care of the stuff that I needed to take care of first, and a little partying too. So
a little party,
just a little bit.
Okay.
He still saved a little bit. He said,
Yeah,
a little bit left.
Because different. You're not.
Well, I was. My friends say I was.
You're gonna say it at some point.
NBA. What does he say? I was a people's person. You know, because I would like the guys who were still on the Razorback. I flew them to a lot of games, like the whole team. You know, just to get them that experience of being at an NBA game, and
that was
when I look back on it, when I look back on it,
that opportunity again.
When I look back on it, it's more of what they got out of it.
Was more than what he got out of it.
That's
why it wasn't a good thing.
The type of person I am, I like. My mother doesn't like me to say this, but I don't really care about money. As long as I'm breathing, I can go make some money. You know what I mean? Okay. So I'll never be broke as long as I can breathe and be able to move. I got the ability to make money. So
that's
cool. And Sam, on the flip side, he gave them an experience though, and kind of planted a seed
them,
that other folks may not ever get or have. True. So I get he didn't get much. Mark looking at me like no.
Some of them,
but I mean, but he planted that seed though.
Their wives, some of them lost their kids. And, they always talk about that experience, like.
But if
I gave them,
if you got that, but he said the whole basketball team. So if I'm
he
first
was just
year,
MC Hammer at the time, and he just employed everybody. That's all it was.
It really was more the guys who played with me who were there. It wasn't like the guys I didn't know. It was the guys who played.
Okay.
And,
so the trucks,
Clyde Fletcher. Those kind of guys.
Clyde Fletcher, I think, was it Clyde Fletcher that was Clyde was a brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I kept trying to remember. Yep. I remember him being a brother.
Catch my side out. No.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, so the second year in the NBA, you now you should save more money. You should have more money in the account now. So
yes,
because a lot of the young guys, the money is different now than it was back then.
Definitely different.
So the era was different. So you played back when the Michael Jordans were at their prime. And now you got the LeBron James and the Michael Jordan. So put you on the spot. Who's the GOAT?
Who's better?
Oh, definitely Michael Jordan is the GOAT. It's easy. LeBron is the best player to ever play the game, but Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
How do you make that? How's that a difference?
He has more attributes than Mike.
He can do a lot more. We know that. But he's 6'9", 270 pounds.
Freak of nature.
He's freak of nature.
Yeah. If the game is on the line, I'm going to Mike.
Going to Mike. And all I remember, something that you said earlier. So growing up in my room, you would think girls would have a lot of pictures of, flowers, posters from Word Up, things like that. I actually had a poster of Penny crossing over Jordan over my bed. That's what it was. That's what I had. And I was like, look at that. Yes.
The kids now do one move. Push off, somebody falls down, and the crowd goes, ooh. What is up with that?
It's different times. Just like you said, it's different now. You're not looking at the everything that it takes to go into it and the quality and all that. We just like the show, the showmanship. That's it. It's a show now. It's not.
Okay, so but Todd is a coach. So you want you want your defender to stay in front of him? Maybe get pushed off, bad shot, you get the rebound, and the crowd goes, ooh.
Right.
Okay, so
I'm at a HBCU, so they go ooh about everything. So, you just have to try to keep your players focused on what's important.
Yeah.
How do you keep them focused? Do you have when they get that mentality, or get, as Mark said, how you were at 21 in that 21 year? How do you
come back to that?
How do you keep them focused and humble though by being on the HBCU campus and just keeping them, just zoned in?
Well, we have a meeting at the beginning of the season, and I tell them, what I expect, and
no girls doing your laundry, no this, no that.
what's going to happen.
What?
If any of my players were here, they would tell you that I'm really an independent coach. I let them make their own decision. If you make a bad one, you know, you got to deal with it. I don't run the girls away from. I really don't run the drugs away from them. I let them kill themselves is basically what I say. You know, eventually it'll get back to me because, you know, kids talk on campus.
Right.
So I had a few who tried the process, and I actually had one who graduated this past year who, you know, when I got him, everybody said he wasn't going to make it. You know, he sell drugs, he do this, he do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I just had to go back to that 21-year-old kid and like they say, I had to act a damn fool you know, to make them get back in check.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of them are there because they need it, not because they want it. You know, a lot of us at my particular age, when we went to college, we wanted it. You know, we wanted to go to college. We wanted a degree, and now a lot of these kids, they need it.
So when you're looking at the kids that I talked to Anthony Lucas, he's a coach over at a PA, and he talked about the generation now, Generation X. These new kids don't want you to yell at them. They don't want no cuss words. Nolan cussed. I know Nolan cussed. I heard some of the stories. So how do you deal with the new kids when you got that mentality and you came from a different line?
They can't play for me.
So you tell them straight up, look,
Straight
if you can't
take
deal with
me
it,
cussing your ass out, you
can't
cannot play for me.
Wow.
It's very simple. You know, I tell the parents the same thing. Like, I love my kids. I'm gonna break my back for them, but just like my kids, I'm gonna discipline you if you get out of pocket.
But did you want, now when you went to college, did you want Nolan doing you like that?
I didn't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice. But
It was what it
so
was.
was it a shock to you? Is my point?
No, it
was
was.
different
See,
from,
I played for my stepdad, who was 10 times worse than I am.
Okay.
So, legendary coach in Memphis, Tennessee. And so when I got to college, we would get back to the dorms. All the kids would be messed up about, man, he called me a motherfucker. You know, and I just couldn't believe that it bothered them so much. You know, that to the point where they couldn't perform.
Right.
Like, it was just a normal thing.
Because you heard it a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
So it just didn't bother me. And I was like, you know, just play ball. We here to play ball. You know, don't listen to the outsiders. You know, my philosophy of coaching is, if you still out on the floor, then you doing something right. If you cussing me out and I'm sitting on the bench, then I have a problem. But as long as I'm out here playing and you cussing me, then I'm good.
Yeah. But you got to get that across. This new kids, man, they want you to talk to them.
Well, have you had anybody walk off lately? Because that's true. You're saying it. They
I
don't
just
want
tell
you
them
to.
it's, you know, 13,000 colleges. You know, pick your own. You don't have to be here.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so check this. So when I was in college, my roommate was Dale. Dion used to tell me before we went to practice, I don't feel like practicing today. I'm going to get kicked out.
Oh.
I used to go, what?
Oh.
I'm going to do something. Coach is going to kick me out so I can go back to the room and chill. So, okay, so did you do any of that? You ever get kicked out of practice? Did Nolan kick anybody out of practice?
Yeah, but it wasn't no going back to the room.
Right.
He would go over there and sit down until practice is over, and he'll deal with you afterwards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was it that bad?
Yeah.
Running, touching?
All the time.
Y'all got
I don't
time
even remember any basketball. Nolan Rich did not teach me anything about basketball.
He just taught you about.
He taught me about being responsible, being accountable for your teammates, and how to push yourself to the limit where you'll be able to dominate your opponent at the end of the game. That's what he taught me.
Wow. How much of that do you apply in your style now?
I take his defensive philosophy, Mike Dunleavy, who coached me in the NBA, I take his offensive philosophy, and I kind of put them together. Okay. Because those were the two guys who taught me the most about each particular sets.
So what was so different about Mike Dunleavy? Because as a coach, his success didn't really dictate that.
Right. He was my first NBA coach. Probably that's where I get it from. And
right.
He's the one who taught me the NBA game.
Right.
So I kind of take, a lot of my stuff that I do in college are NBA plays and NBA sets are what we call them. And it's kind of hard for colleges to defend them because they've never seen them.
It's pretty good.
So see, earlier he made that comment, you got to change some things because they don't have a seat at the table. But in a sense, you creating your own table.
Yeah.
Right now.
I just take what I felt like my coaches' mistakes they made when I played for them and try not to I don't want to ever be somebody sitting here saying that, Coach Dave made mistakes, and that's why we didn't win. So I just try to do my best to make sure that never happens.
Dream job. Fayetteville.
So that means you putting him on the spot for real now.
Well, he said he could work his way around it.
You got to think about it.
Or the Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies?
Okay.
Just to be back home.
You just want to be back. Because Corliss came down, he did the UCA thing. And I don't know if it's because the high school or the kids coming in college didn't pick it up. I thought the offense he ran was pretty good. I don't know if the players picked it up, but then he went back to college. To the pros.
UCA is not really a good stepping stone for a black coach.
Gotcha.
To be honest with you, they gave him a great opportunity to do what he needed to do. It's hard to get players there
to UCA. So
real players,
right?
For you to advance,
right,
to the next level.
So college wise, dream job.
Razorbacks.
You would talk that. You would have that conversation
in a heartbeat.
So when they were looking for coaches, it seemed like to me, you got a problem with getting McDonald's All-Americans. Why wouldn't you bring some McDonald's All-Americans in that can get you some more McDonald's All-Americans and take your program back?
True. I can see why they did not do it, but my thing
Tell me why they didn't do it first.
First of all, I haven't done enough in college, to get a D1 program as far as coaching is why.
Hold on. It's a bunch of coaches like that.
No. I'm just speaking particularly for me.
All right.
Second of all, I'm of color.
Right.
So if you're of color, then you have to do a little more than everybody else to do.
Okay.
Third of all, I just wish they would have interviewed us, brought us in, Corliss, Scotty, myself, Lee. Just give us an opportunity to interview for the job.
Right.
Even though you're not going to take it, it looks good on our resume to have interviewed for a big-time job like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I say this because I'm just going to make a point. In baseball, if you notice, I'm a Yankees fan. Yankees got rid of all the $20, $30 million guys off their roster. You know why? Because the young guys are playing the game a lot better. They're winning. The Cubs, when they won, they were all 20, 21, 22 young guys. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a Razorback, if you're in a Razorback management position, the guys that's making all the decisions, you still could go out. Why not take a chance on somebody that can get you the players that you need? Because it's not the coaches. Who cares about the names? You need the players.
Well, every coach has their guys. These are my guys. So that each coach go to city to city, school to school. They're always going to have their guys.
Which is why you need somebody who's got guys. So why would you not have somebody on your staff, regardless of the experience, that's got guys that know people?
That's true.
It would just make a difference.
It sounds good until it's done,
Yeah, it's not done.
Yeah.
So now, have you met Musselman at all? Haven't met him, hadn't heard from him?
No, I know him, and I've met him before.
Okay.
I shook his hand briefly. When he first got the job, he walked right past me in the gym,
just walk right past.
He didn't even notice me.
Okay.
His assistant behind us, like, that's Todd Day. So he turned around, and that's how he introduced himself to me.
That's it?
That's it.
No, hey, come back.
He actually texted me last week while I was in L.A. and said, I heard you were working at Nike camp. It's a great look. Here are 3 names that we're trying to recruit. See if you can help.
Because he's got guys.
But listen, you should have texted back. I heard you had some coaching staff positions.
Let me see. I don't even know if I texted back.
I heard you had some coaching staff positions available.
But see, I'm the kind of guy I wouldn't push for that like that because I don't want to force myself on your staff.
Right.
Because you'll always be looking over your shoulder about what am I doing, why is he here?
But if you don't want to force, using that same philosophy, you don't want to force yourself on my staff, then don't send me names of 3 guys.
Because you need me for.
Because you need me.
That's right.
That's the business. He can send it all he wants.
Yeah.
Just the response is what lets him know that he didn't get a response. So
that is.
But it's hard for me to push
That's tacky,
someone to somewhere where I don't even really know the person who's the coach.
right?
No matter where, if it's the Razorbacks or the Landers.
If
I don't know the coach, it's hard for me to push a kid there.
It's different if he sent you a box of tennis shoes and some jerseys and some old warm-ups or something like that. He didn't do nothing.
It was hard to get that stuff when Mike was there, actually.
Was it?
Wow.
Yeah.
See, so here's the problem. Because, I think the Razorbacks, people used to get mad at me when I was on TV here, Channel 11, because I would just tell it like it is. Here's the problem I got with the Razorbacks. Their problem is systemic. Back in the mid-'90s, you didn't get God, I just forgot that guy's name. So when his son became Cam Robinson, one of the top offensive tackles in the country, don't think you're going to get him because you didn't recruit his dad. So here it is. You got players like Todd Day. You got Lee Mayberry. You got Big C. Corliss, by the way. So Scott, if you don't have those guys around your program, then why on earth are you upset because you're not getting the help?
Well, he offered Scotty a lesser job than he already had. So Scotty didn't accept, and now he's the head coach at Parkview. So where do you think you're going to go to recruit kids? You got to go to you got to go right through Scotty to go to Parkview.
That's
so,
right.
like, it all works out hand in hand. Eventually,
Right.
you get what you come in this job.
So when you go up there, because you still all-time leading scorer, you can go up there and say, I built this place, pretty much. When you go up there, do you have a problem working out? Do they?
Nah, they would. They better not. They wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Wouldn't dare say that.
Yeah.
So how often do you guys get back together? The 1990 team, Butch Morris. Y'all don't ever get back and go up there?
No, a lot of them are already still up there. So I catch it. I'll be going back up.
Still there?
I know Clyde is there. Butch Morris is there. Corey Beck.
Butch had a cup of coffee in the NBA.
Yeah, he was first pick of the second round.
Second round, yeah. Second pick.
So it's a few guys who are still there.
And you when you go up there, the only time you fellowship with them is when you go up there.
We talk. If they come to Little Rock, we'll hang out.
Right.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
But no flying them in to watch Philander.
Nah, the only person that is Lee. It's the only person that we keep up like that.
So where is he and what is he doing
in Tulsa? He's coaching women's basketball at Oral Roberts.
Because I know his daughter was at Oral Roberts.
His daughter was at Oral Roberts. He has a daughter who's at Oral Roberts now. I just found out she's pregnant.
Okay.
So he has 5 daughters. One is a coach for Tulsa women's basketball.
Okay.
One of them just got married to a guy played for the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Okay.
The other one, she's pregnant at Oral Roberts. She's going to sit out and return her basketball next year. And the other one is a high school senior, like one of the top ones in the country. She plays at Booker T.
I wonder what she's going to do. Go to Oral Roberts?
That's what I'm praying. Like,
it seems that's
two of them, like, were better than Oral Roberts, but I just think they have that tie to Oral Roberts. And both of his kids got pregnant at Oral Roberts, so I told him you might need to send them somewhere. It's a Christian school, and they getting pregnant. So, you do the math on that.
Okay, so LeBron's agent is Rich Paul. So the Rich Paul rule comes out in the NBA. The Rich Paul rule, for those of you who want to know, is they want you to have a degree. They don't want you to be somebody that can get some of these young black kids and bring them up and negotiate their contract. So you got the Rich Paul deal in place. And if you're a young guy, first of all, if you're a young guy, how did you pick your agent?
I went with the same agent that Nolan had.
Why?
Steven Zink.
Oh, just because?
Just they gave me the best presentation. I felt more comfortable with them. I ended up firing them, but at the time I felt more comfortable. We didn't.
I was going to ask a question, but never mind.
As a 22-year-old kid, I didn't know what my parents. We didn't know what to look for.
Okay.
We just knew Stevens had a lot of money, and everybody else was going to their interviews on commercial. We were flying private jets, and so we just went where the money was.
Okay, so because of the Rich Paul rule, there's a basketball NBA insider who suggests that a lot of these kids up and coming should go to HBCUs since they're making so much money off of you, and now they're trying to change the rules to where when you can go in and when you can go out, who you can be your agent. So they're suggesting that you go to an HBCU, so all that money goes there. If you're a one and done, your thoughts?
We would love to have them. We would love to have them. I think it's kind of hard for me to say this, but the HBCU experience for a black person is overrated.
Is it?
It's very overrated because with all these black successful people in the world, the HBCUs are struggling.
Right.
So it's it's a balance. You're giving your money to the wrong place. If you're really trying to help black kids, then you would go to a historically black college. Not the same 2 or 3 who getting all the money.
Right.
But it's over 100 of them. So,
man,
that's how I look at it.
Wow. So you wouldn't necessarily suggest if your kid.
If I was an athlete, knowing what I know now, I would not want to be at a HBCU.
Okay.
Just because, like I tell my kids, it's not because it's a bad experience. It's because I've seen better. And I've been around better, and I know what it looks like to be at a big time program.
Right.
When you need an ice bath and you gotta, had to rent a hotel room for the boys to go take ice baths in because we don't have ice baths.
Right.
Just small stuff like that.
Yeah, but who wants to get in an ice bath?
Well, these kids do it, nowadays.
Well, they
especially after I get through with them, they gonna need it.
So they need it.
Alabama doing cryotherapy now.
Yeah, they have.
They got that kind of money.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So you wouldn't want to coach maybe in the SEC anywhere else? Just
I've
had
had
to be
opportunities. I've had opportunities. I actually could be in Memphis right now if that's what I chose to do. But at this point in my life, my wife's from Little Rock. She's enjoying being back here teaching elementary school.
Right.
So she's happy. So we're just kind of content right now with doing this.
Take me back to the battles with. I think you're a little older than Penny. Take me back to those days.
Well, it really wasn't a battle back then because my school was better. He was at a smaller school. He was at a AA school.
Right.
So we always had a better team. But, we just really didn't click in high school because of our cliques. My clique felt I was a better player. His clique felt he was a better player. So it was always friction. And we actually didn't end up becoming friends until we really got in the NBA.
Wow.
Yeah, we started working out together when we come home in the summers. And I was finishing my last year of my contract, so I was looking for a place to play. And he was like, I just signed a big deal with Phoenix. Let's go out here and work out.
Yeah.
So I went out there and worked out with him, played with the team. They ended up signing me for that year.
So because when I looked at the NBA history, 3 years, you would think the 8th overall selection, 3 years in Milwaukee?
3.5. Yeah, 3.5.
What happened?
They asked me to play a role that I didn't want to play. I felt like, it was my 3rd year coming up, and I had just come off a career high in all categories the year before, and they brought in Big Dog Robinson and Glenn and Vin Baker. And so they felt like, we had a big 3 going.
Yeah.
And they felt like we needed one of us to be a defensive player. And they chose it to be me. And that wasn't a role that I was particularly happy with.
Did you tell them, I do this?
Well, they already knew. It was pretty much, they knew that they were going to have to pay all 3 of us. And the fact that, I lashed out about not wanting to take that role publicly. Right. They sent me to the worst team in the league. So. It is what it is.
Well, they could do that.
Yeah.
That's what they did. Toronto did. San Antonio did to what's her name who went to Toronto, and then he wins the championship this year. But I can't think of his name right now. Kawhi. So Toronto was upset with Kawhi. They're pissed off at him. He's pissed off at them. He wants to go to the Lakers. They say, "Oh, you know what? We're going to send you up to Toronto. We're going to send you to Siberia." So they told you that?
Pretty much. They sent me to Boston.
You didn't like the Celtics?
Bottom feed. No, they was a great organization. They treated me well. It just wasn't a good time at that particular time. They were in the Tim Duncan sweepstakes. So we would be winning games, and they would take all of us out in the 4th quarter and make sure we lose. They were trying to get Tim Duncan.
Wait a minute. Do they really lose on purpose?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I was about to say that really happens.
They definitely did that.
So, because they're trying to make a rule in the NBA now where the players, the superstars, no tanking.
Yeah.
But they tanked. I don't see how they tank.
Well, it's a lot of different ways, they can, see, back then we didn't have rest days. It wasn't such thing as, I'm taking off tonight for a rest day.
Right.
You played every game. That was pretty much how you earned your money.
82 games for $1.5 million.
Wow.
Did you think you were underpaid?
No. I mean, like, coming from where I came from,
That was
just
good money.
Yeah, it was, and people never really realize, like, you never see the money. It's going direct deposit. It's not like you now. I'm gonna check my account. What I mean? You got money in it, so you don't check it.
Right.
So it's always good to have somebody who's watching over, watching your back. Because as a young person, you're just spending because you got it.
So if you're 70, I'm 71, so I'm 48. You're 49. Well, I'm just trying to make sure.
50 in January.
You're 50 in January the 7th. I did my research. Okay, so what do you say to 21-year-old Todd Day, right? If you could sit down next to him and talk to him, tell me everything you'd say, deals to take, deals not to take, shoe deals, girlfriends, the whole nine.
I don't think I would change anything.
Come
like
on,
the
man.
experiences,
Come on. Really?
the
Todd,
experiences that I had, like
Todd,
money can never,
Come on, Todd. You listen, you PC. I went out with a girl in college. I walked in her dorm room, and back then the Democrat Gazette had a giant size.
I just got that thing laminated and
Where you
put
could
up in my house.
you could fold it out, and it was Todd
Full
Day
size,
Wow.
to give your height. When I saw she had that in her room, I was done with her.
Right.
So come on now, I know it's some stories like that. I was like, what?
Not really. I mean, like I did more in college than I could have ever done in the NBA. Like, just.
But not money.
I mean, it really wasn't about the money once you got in the NBA because you already had it. It was just about the fun. Like,
Oh,
it wasn't really never
the
about
experiences of going to different cities,
Exactly.
meeting new people.
Exactly. And just having the
Right.
means, most of it was they know you got it, so they going to try to get it, So if you played it smooth and smart like me, you get it and they wouldn't get it. You feel me? So it all works out the
Now
same.
what do you think he's talking about?
Whatever it is, whatever they was looking for, they wouldn't get
They
it.
won't get it.
Nah. So
All right, but so you wouldn't tell a 21-year-old Todd Day
No
anything?
advice.
I mean,
no
no
advice at
advice,
all.
no.
I would say slow down. Like if I see the people that I talk to now about money, like the kids, young kids in the NBA, when I worked at Nike camp every summer, these are the top echelon of kids.
Right.
I got the number one pick, James Wiseman, who's at Memphis now. Penny and I coached him. And my advice to them is save your money until you're my age, and then you can really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're 23,
Okay.
you can go my wife and I, we just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary,
Congrats on
July
that.
31st.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to find somewhere to go, and we just couldn't. We had been everywhere.
Wow.
Like, we had just done
So-
too much
Wow.
too early.
Mhm.
So it was hard for us to pick somewhere to go. We ended up going to Cabo. It's the first time we've been there. We enjoyed it, though.
So what you're telling me is, I'm 21, I got millions. Don't spend it going a bunch of places.
I mean, just don't do too much too early, because then at the end of your life, you won't have them.
Anything
Don't
else.
rent any
Yeah.
yachts and have exotic parties.
And get
Yeah, I
pictures
have a
taken.
couple.
And
Couple.
be all in the
Just don't have
tabloids.
that.
Yeah.
Just,
Stay away from them bloggers.
It's like
Yeah. You can enjoy
me and my
yourself.
friends say all the time, like me and Lee, we talk. Boy, just thank God wasn't no Twitter, Snap.
See, that's what I just
Yeah,
said. Stay
see,
away
you
from the
didn't have social
paparazzi,
media.
the blogs, and
Yeah,
social
we wouldn't
media.
have- we wouldn't have made it.
Everywhere you
But
went.
actually, when I look back on it, I'm a today's NBA player. Like if I would be like a mega star if I was playing right now, just because of my personality, and it's cool to do what they're doing now that I was doing 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But it wasn't cool back then.
So give me an example of something that's cool now that wasn't cool.
I'm saying just, like Shaq had parties. He DJing parties and
Right.
being at the parties. Like that was my thing. I was the party, person of the NBA for my team. If somebody came to my city, they would call me like, where's the spot to go? Where we going tonight? I would pick up all the opposing
He said he was a
players.
people person, so he's
All
the
the
man.
opposing players would call me, what's the spot tonight? Now, if I couldn't go, I would tell them where to go.
Right.
That
But
type
see,
of deal.
you got to be PC right now. So I get that. We get the PC version. It's all good. Okay, so hang out where to hang out. I get that.
Just I was the guy with the money that was still messing around in the hood, with the bangers. Just where I always felt comfortable. So.
Right. Right. So you and it's interesting. You and Lee was talking about with social media back then, because I could remember some places that we showed up.
Me and my guy, man, that's my guy.
I bet he
is.
That's
my guy. You throw in Big O with him,
right?
Yeah, those were my guy. We had a good time.
Okay, so before we, now we talked about you got something.
I do.
Okay.
I do. Just to switch gears a little bit to get a little bit more from you. Tell me right now, if you could have dinner with 3 people that were either dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I would love to meet. Everybody would love to meet Martin Luther King. I mean, that's obvious. Jay-Z. I'm a big Jay-Z fan. Not only his music, but his movement.
Well, he just made his own table at the NFL, so I'm just saying.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He turned down millions of dollars to perform at the NBA show, so it couldn't have been about the money.
It wouldn't
have
been.
Wouldn't.
Whatever he's doing, it's about
Mm-hmm.
social justice. So that's what I'm down for. And probably Oprah.
Really?
Yeah,
What would
Oprah.
you say to
Really?
Oprah?
I'd probably ask if she want to marry.
It'd be hard to
She
do
had
that.
stepped me
You
for a long
realize
time on the
that,
side.
right?
I don't know. And then
She's just one of the influential people
Yeah.
that I never got to meet.
It would be hard to marry her, seeing as how you just celebrated your 20th.
My wife understand.
She
We'll
would
work it out.
have, she would have to
We
understand.
will work it out.
she said,
After 20 years, we'll work it out.
That makes sense.
okay, so 3 things that we wouldn't know about you. What would those be?
Life
What-
of the party.
Well,
comedy.
yeah, we can kind of talk about being
I'm
life of
an
the
open book,
party.
really. So
Okay.
you said you wouldn't know.
Let's go this route.
I saw
Let's go this route. Skittles, Snickers, Starburst, or Twix. One of them gotta go. Which one?
Starburst.
Wow. Okay. You don't like
Starburst gotta go, man.
Yeah, Starburst get stick to your teeth when you get
I'm
old.
not big Skittles either.
All right. Okay. So Twix or Snickers?
I gotta be Twix for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Twix.
All right. Okay. All right. And if you could have any type of superpower, I mean, you were the golden child, and you got a real good name from birth. So if you could have any
Fitzgerald.
superpower, what would it be and why?
The gift of hearing anything. I like to know what people think about me, even though it really doesn't matter. I like to know. So
Why?
Just it makes me easier to maneuver around you if I know.
About to say,
where
now
your mind
Taraji had
is.
the movie. What women want? I would think that would drive me
That would
crazy.
drive me crazy.
Hearing
I
all
don't know
those
if I
thoughts
wanna
all
hear
the
all
time,
that.
walking by people.
Yeah, but most. I mean, I argue with my wife all the time about this. Like, I respect Donald Trump. At least he ain't in the closet telling me he don't like me. You know what I mean?
Well, I can understand
yeah.
that.
You know,
understand
you don't
that.
like me, I don't
Right.
like you. Instead of
I
I'm
can
for the
understand
black
that.
people. You're really not. It is what it is.
I can understand that concept. I had a friend that was from Mississippi, and I used to tease her all the time. She was a Delta, by the way.
She's good people then.
Funny
She's
how
real
I
good
tease her.
people. Real good people.
I used to tease her all the time. I used to go, "You're from Mississippi. It's still slavery in South Mississippi going on, pretty much." And so she would always go, "Well, at least in Mississippi, they don't like you. In Arkansas, you don't even know."
Yeah.
Because it's a mixture. You have people who really genuinely don't care what color you are.
Right.
And then you have some who care and some who act like they don't care. So,
Right.
Arkansas just has a mixture of different kind of people. But one thing they love is those hoes. You
Yes,
can be
they
orange. You play for them hoes, they going to love you.
Yeah.
Wow. What's on your playlist right now?
My playlist, I'm listening to E40's new album. I'm a big
okay.
E40 fan.
E40?
Yeah, he's
Time.
showing my
choices.
Sprinkle me.
Choices.
Yeah,
Sprinkle me.
showing-
Okay.
showing
I
my
used to
age.
play
But
on
he
the
got a
radio.
new album out, and I'm down with the whole Memphis movement right now with Dolph and young black youngsters.
Okay.
Here's the problem with
Key
it. But
Glock.
see, here's the problem with the Memphis rappers. Dolph and what's the other one's name you just
Gotti.
mentioned? Huh?
God, I said, don't
No,
talk about Gotti now.
Black
Hold
youngster.
on. Black
Youngster. Black.
Mhm.
See, they okay. So you walk outside and you holding your money like this in stacks. Now, what is the purpose? You by yourself.
Showing
The
that
purpose
you
is, the purpose is,
Because if
it's
I
all
see
fa-
you,
it's all a facade.
That's right.
Now, if you see them, you're not gonna do nothing because them killers right behind them.
See, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I know somebody got to be around.
there's plenty of them
Yeah,
around. They
yeah.
they around.
Because I remember we used to have Summer Jam and Juneteenth. And what's his name was Gotti was at it every week.
So you know
Gotti
that was
at it every year.
So you know that's the worst experience I had with him.
What?
Yeah, because I was supposed to interview him.
Young guy who
Gotti, yeah, and he wasn't ready. So they told me going on about my business. He'll be ready for you later. So when he did get ready, I said, "Well, you tell him. I don't know. I understand he from Memphis, but I'm from the 21st block of Wolf, and I don't take that here. So tell him he can find somebody else. But I do understand how
See,
how it goes and how it works.
I had that
I've been
problem
mad
with
at Gotti
Donnell
ever since.
Jones. I don't listen to Don. Whenever Donnell Jones comes on, I turn the radio every time. He was here for a show, and that year.
He was cool.
No. That year we rented an RV for our employees and set it right by the stage. So our employees could use the bathroom. We kept refreshments in there.
Yeah.
I was running the stage, so we had to get groups in and out. We had 20-something groups.
Yeah.
So we running groups in and out. I'm like, all right, go give me this group. Go. So Donnell Jones comes in. First of all, he forces his way into the RV, him and his people. Kicked everybody out of the RV.
Wow.
Had a guy with a gun sitting right there at the door.
Where was he from?
I don't know where he was from, but when I walked up to him, I said, look, yo, it's his
up.
time. Well, he's having his tea right now.
Tea?
So he can't come out.
Oh.
I said, well, he's got to take stage.
Oh.
Well, he's not ready. He's going to have his tea. You're going to have to wait. I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what. I bring Kiki Wyatt on stage.
She was sweet.
Kiki gets 2 songs in. Her manager goes, Kiki got to use the bathroom.
Oh.
I said, well, okay, let's just put her in here. So I go knock on the door because I'm telling everybody to go get Donnell Jones out so we can get Kiki in there to use the bathroom.
He's from Chicago.
Knock on the door. His guy comes up and says, he's not ready. I said, listen, man, Kiki got to use the bathroom. You need to get out. Pulls his shirt up.
Oh.
I see the pistol.
Oh.
He says, we not ready to leave yet.
Oh.
I said, oh, okay, well, hey. Sure, guy, no problem. Yeah. Go back to the
what
stage.
What do you say?
Kiki leaves the stage. I go tell Joe, listen, if you don't get that punk out of here, we just not going to do it. And ever since then, anytime a Donnell Jones song come, I turn it off.
That was at Chicago and
Nothing.
him. That's all I'm saying. He
Bro,
said they come
nothing.
with their people, so we're going to leave it at that.
They can come with their people.
Okay, so Young Dolph. Okay,
Yeah, well, actually, the youngest rapper out in this region right now is Kevo Money.
Kevo Money.
Kevo Money. He is the brother of one of my players at Philander.
Really?
We're going to check out Kevo
Yeah.
Money.
Okay.
Money, Money.
Oh.
Yeah, because they got to spell things different now.
Very differently.
You can't just have a regular spelling.
19 years old, but he's the hottest thing out in the South. Right
Okay.
Is that him?
Yeah,
Coming
right
through.
there. See DJ on there?
DJ.
DJ that's my player. That's his brother. That right there. He played for Philander.
My boys listen to this. I have heard this. I've heard this. I keep up with stuff for the twins. My twins have to keep me up on things. I have heard this.
I haven't heard
Hot
Kevo
right
Money.
now.
Wow.
We have to
really?
keep him in check. Check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we let you go, I gotta ask you because I've seen the tape,
What tape?
the probate.
Oh, we still on that.
Yeah, I got to do that.
We still on that.
The probate.
Mm-hmm.
Your probate tape. You and Yes Man, one of my good friends, y'all showed out. I didn't know you could step.
Of that. I wish
That's
we
the
had a
last
clip
time
of
I've ever
that.
stepped. Only stepped
Really?
one time.
You only stepped that one time.
Were you ever step master at all?
I was step master.
Were you?
Yeah.
I was too, but I just had that.
You didn't step no more.
Well, because everybody thought I couldn't. I told y'all I was gonna show out one time. One time.
said,
I'm gonna do it
"That's
at the
it."
probate.
I just remember this right here.
Yeah, I didn't practice with them or nothing. They showed it to
Really?
me, and I went
Right.
home and did it on my own. And I may have practiced twice with the whole group, but I really did it all on my own because I wanted to make sure I was right. 'Cause
See, I told you I got
everybody
it.
was waiting on me to be wrong, so I had to make sure that I was right.
You acted a fool on the show. All right.
I still haven't seen the tape of that.
I saw the tape.
Wow.
Yes Man got a copy of the tape, by the way. So
We needed that. We
Huh?
needed that today.
no, it's not on the internet.
We needed it. He said tape, so that
yes,
just made me
yeah.
think.
Well, listen, because back then it
We
was on
have
VHS.
tapes.
Yeah,
It
Yeah, I
was on
was
VHS.
like literally. Okay.
Yeah, it was on
Yeah,
tape.
you ain't put nothing on VHS now.
No.
You have to work that tracking button,
Yeah,
get
no.
all the little kinks out. Yes. Todd, thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Appreciate you coming on.